What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. How's everybody doing out there today? We did this 4 years ago when it was USA and Japan in the World Baseball Classic final. USA is going to get another shot, but this time it's going to be against Venezuela. It's the first time Venezuela has ever made a World Baseball Classic final. So this should be fun to be able to watch this. Managed by Omar Lopez, they are 5-1. It's Ronald Acuna Jr. batting right, playing right field. Maikel Garcia of the Royals batting right, playing third base. Luis Arraez at first base of the San Diego Padres batting left. Eugenio Suarez, I think, was moved from the Seattle Mariners. I think he's going back to the Reds. He's the DH. Gleyber Torres, the Tiger, at second base batting right. Ezequiel Tovar of the Rockies at shortstop batting right. Wilyer Abreu, the Red Sox, left field playing left, batting left. Salvador Perez is the catcher for the Royals, batting right, and Chourio is a very young and dynamic center fielder, batting right. They got William Contreras as their backup catcher, Wilson Contreras is the infielder, Andres Gimenez the same, and Javier Sanoja will be the extra outfielder for Omar Lopez's squad today. And when they were going through both of the anthems, as I was just checking in with you, manager Mark DeRosa got booed alongside Team United States. And I really think it has to be with not knowing the preliminary situation that you had to take out Italy because, if you're going to be undefeated, you're going to advance. Italy and Vinny Pasquantino did them a favor. He said that jokingly alongside Bobby Witt. They were just eliminated yesterday by Venezuela. I was hoping to see Italy, not because I didn't want to play DR, Venezuela, or any of that. I think the U.S. is definitely good enough, but it would have been a complete dynamic story. So Bobby Witt Jr., the Kansas City Royal, is playing shortstop to about right. Bryce Harper, who's had a very rough World Baseball Classic of the Phillies, will bat left to play first base. Aaron Judge of the Yankees in right field batting right. Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies is DH batting left. Shore bombs abound, you would imagine. Alex Bregman will draw in for Gunnar Henderson. Interesting because Gunnar Henderson's probably been one of the best players in the tournament, but he probably owns Eduardo Rodriguez. Third base batting right for Breg. Roman Anthony, the Red Sox prospect who looks really good as well. Left field batting left. Will Smith of the Dodgers catching batting right. Bryce Terang of the Brewers. Second base batting left, and Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins will draw in on the start in comparison to Pete Crow-Armstrong of the Cubs. Buxton will play center field and bat right. On the bench today, you got Cal Raleigh. He's been struggling in the World Baseball Classic. Paul Goldschmidt's barely played. Ernie Clement will be the extra infielder. Gunnar Henderson will likely see his time. And Pete Armstrong, I imagine, at some point will get into this game. For the bullpen of the Team United States, it's Tim Hill, Gabe Speier, the lefties. Jeff Hoffman's been added in as a righty. Griffin Jacks, Brad Keller, Tyler Rogers, Garrett Whitlock, Will Vest of the Tigers, David Bednar of the Yankees, and Mason Miller of the Athletics. Nolan McLean going to get the start today for USA, and it will be the former Tiger, Red Sox, current Diamondback, Eduardo Rodriguez, the 32-year-old lefty, getting the start for Omar Lopez's squad. And once we get going to the first pitch, I will take you all the way through. I don't think the game story is going to be completely long because they got to get some food and all that stuff after this. I imagine this game's not going to get done closer to midnight. So we're going to try to get the hours going. You got this Monday, Tuesday active, get some rest Wednesday, and then we'll see about the rest of the week until my Sharks assignment on Saturday with the Sunday birthday plans.
Sometimes in the middle of the flight, there's turbulence. There was a little turbulence in Houston, but their destination when they landed was Miami, and their quest is to win a championship. They have stars galore. They know what they need to do. They have the heavy favorites. Nothing changes tonight. Everything is about winning a championship for Team USA, and it's the offense. It's going When are they going to have that breakout? They've got one more chance to happen against Venezuela, which is in the championship for the first time, and they are everything that is great about this tournament. All-star talent. They play the game with a childlike joy, and you can tell how much it means to them. It means everything to these guys into their country. It's not hyperbole. It means everything. And their journey has been an incredible one. They've already gotten to the promised land, and this is the cherry on top, and they're able to win. They've never won a championship in the WBC, but they're winning over their country, they're winning over their players, and for this night, emotion, adrenaline, everything going on the line for Team Venezuela. All right, it is Venezuela and the United States. Winner take all. Game 7-5 in Miami. First pitch coming up on Fox. Welcome to Hybrid Revolution. Welcome to Hex Lab.
Yeah, but is Hex Club really worth it?
Of course it's worth it.
You look like a ghost on the mountains.
No, I am Gordon Ramsay. Nice. With Hex Lab, you get one step closer to cooking like a real chef.
Ready?
Let's go. With Hex Lab, you get the same power of stainless steel, the durability of cast iron, and convenience of non-stick. Hex Lab is really worth it. Wait, there's a peanut inside me? Nice. M&M's. It's more fun together.
We'll see what happens for this World Baseball Classic today and how many people join in the YouTube side or the X space. Again, it's not USA Japan from 4 years ago, but there will be enough intrigue here, I imagine, with Venezuela the first time around in this World Baseball Classic final. The United States, and this isn't just trying to be a slap happy, but in between the three trifecta for USA men's, women's, and Paralympic hockey, and then beating Canada in baseball with 4 for 4. If they can go 4 for 4 all told now against Venezuela, this would be a really good year for the United States and their sports. Really, you bring this team in to try to finish it all. That's what they're here for. They got the most talent in comparison to any nation. You could argue DR and Venezuela also incredibly standout teams. Italy was the darling of the tournament. But even with that, I would agree, still have to say that the United States, if they do not win this, it would be an absolute failure. But when you think about Venezuela and what they have in their top 9 today, I mean, they are as deep as anybody. What's really going to be tested to me, you saw Daniel Palencia last night, and he looked really good against Italy. And I covered him last year when he was with the Cubs. You got 101. You got a wipeout slider, curveball, changeup. He kind of throws everything. He is the straw that stirs the drink on the back end of that bullpen. Manuel De Jesus of the Tigers prospect. I think not really prospect. He's 29. He would be another one of those guys that has been unblemished, I think, through 6 innings of the WBC. But that back end bullpen, that's where the United States should have the edge outside of Palencia and maybe Angel Zerpa of the Royals, which Ian knows well.
Introducing the all-new Millionaire for Life game from the Michigan Lottery. One win lasts a lifetime.
Baseball. The game that gets us heroes.
I wish they would have said that first pitch started at 8:25, because even I started at 8:15. So I'm going to try to get done before midnight. The last time the United States won a World Baseball Classic, Jim Leyland was the manager in 2017. Nolan McLean of the Mets, 5-1 record, 206, 48 innings, 57 strikeouts, 16 walks, 4 home runs, 11 point average of 200. He's got excellent numbers: sinker, sweeper, curve, fastball, changeup, cutter. He has a 6-pitch mix that he had used with the Mets last year, and this is going to be the biggest game of his life at this point. He's going to get set to deal against the leadoff man, Ronald Acuna Jr. He is 6 for 23 in this tournament, 261, 2 bombs, 4 RBI. And the first pitch is smacked right back up the middle, and Acuna has got a solid single to start this game at Lone Depot Park. My name's John Ott. I'm going to be your play-by-play man all the way through for this World Baseball Classic final between Venezuela and the United States. It's been a while since we covered a baseball game, but the season's going to be upon us. Imagine about 2.5 more weeks, and this will be a good appetizer to get the juices flowing for all the marbles in the WBC. So 1 pitch, 1 hit is immediately toss over and use the first engagement. Now, I'm going to go ahead and imagine that all of the same rules currently in the MLB are in the World Baseball Classic now. Again, we didn't have that pitch clock 4 years ago, as this sweeper misses way outside. Maikel Garcia, he has been raking in this tournament, 10 for 23, 435, a home run and 6 RBI. He's not known for a lot of tanks, but he's got a ton of speed. And Acuna still trying to work with that leg injury. Here's the pull to second. Garcia, double play! McLean gives the sweeper to third base. Bregman throws it over to Terang, and that's 2 for the price of 1. Good start there for the Stars and Stripes. 3 pitches for McLean, 2 outs. And that's going to leave it up now to Luis Arraez. If you had Arraez on base with those two, Acuna and Garcia and Arraez at the plate, then you would have probably already drawn in a run if you're Venezuela, because he's got elite bat-to-ball skills. He's a guy that never really strikes out. A modern-day Tony Gwynn, as McLean throws 99 inside. Arraez actually has 2 tanks in this tournament, which is a lot for him. He's hitting 348. He's got 10 RBI. As this fastball up, it's popped up right to Buxton, and the United States, that's a dream start of 6 pitches from McLean, 3 outs. They'll get the bat in the bottom of the first.
The absolute legend went from gaming on her phone to ruthless online streaming slayer with no mercy for any living thing is your mom?
Hey guys, apples with peanut butter?
AT&T Wireless and Home Internet.
Hey, text me if you need anything.
Level up your connection with AT&T Wireless and Home Internet. Now available across the nation.
No, she's so nice.
Direct contact. Confident. All engaged. Kind of creepy Happy Monday. It's an old school power move. The real power move, having smart tools that'll keep up with changing trade rules.
Liz, we gotta get that Malaysian customs thing sorted. Figured it out with FedEx. It shipped. Anything else?
FedEx, the new power move. Brace your taste buds. The new TQ Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket comes with cool TQ soft serves of 10 for just $6.99. At one of our new TQ lemonades, it's the new spicy bacon, only for a limited time. Power was born as championship game for Mark DeRosa. The noteworthy spots for third base for Alex Griffin is back in next to Gunnar Henderson. Will Smith does the catching for the championship. And Byron Buxton gets the start. Left-hander Eduard Rodriguez on the hill for Venezuela.
Bobby Witt Jr. first pitch skies this one to center field, but no problem for Venezuela as they're able to get underneath it and make the catch. That's Jackson Chourio, and one pitch, one away for Eduardo Rodriguez. Again, 9-9 last year with the D-backs, ERA of 5.02, 143 strikeouts, 60 walks, 25 bombs allowed. Fastball, change cut, sinker, slider, curve, another 6 picks mix. But it's going to be pretty much fastball changeup that he's going to go predominantly on. And Bryce Harper is one of the guys they need to get going. 92, and he's late. That was right down the middle there for Bryce. He is only 4 for 24 with an RBI, and he's batting second in the order. They need Bryce Harper to start to percolate. He is one of those guys. Let's say if he takes a little bit of a dip, you would think out of a 0 to 99 overall, you would think Bryce Harper is still one of those guys in the middle 80s, but he's not playing like that in the WBC. As this is off the plate, that's a miserable swing, and this has popped up. No problem that Ezequiel Tovar in the United States might go the same way Venezuela did with 3 outs and 5 pitches. As Omar Lopez getting some camera shots in his first appearance in the WBC. So to leave it up to the judge of the Yankees here, he is the cover athlete of MLB 26. I don't think the game's going to be all that good, but again, it'll be the second time he's been on the cover. And this is 94 on the inside black. And that's a perfect pitch. 261, 6 of 23 for Judge, 2 tanks, and 5 RBI in this WBC. But again, he's about 6'8", 6'9". He is a tree trunk of a man with tons of power, and he has an elite arm, the elite of the elite, as far as able to throw out Fernando Tatis and a runner at first as well. His eye has gotten much better as well over the last few seasons. It's a shame that Judge already is the age that he is, because he started pretty much 25, 26, and then the Yankee system before he got called up. Looks more like a linebacker. 2-1. This is inside on a fastball, and he will stay alive as he gets fouled on the first base line, and we'll do it again. Eduardo Rodriguez has a good chance to get out of this under 10 pitches, and McLean and Erod trying to be as efficient as possible. Again, this is the final, so anything's going to go as far as bullpen when they decide to do that. Venezuela fans getting to their feet. That was a called strike. It was low. And Judge is going to have some words, but he punches out. USA, it's nothing. And we go to the second.
Sure, Chuck. My wash machine on Perez also. I got just the thing. Want to try the cat Perez? There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts. What's in your wallet? You're natural.
Slice so good, hit like boom. Papa John's, fill the room. Fresh, never frozen, original dough made from 6 simple ingredients. Get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
And in the books of this championship game, the city we go, to the field we go. Here's Skip Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. The drama in this game only lingers to build into the late innings. Most of Team USA's top momentum are ready to go. They've been on like it down Kepler's grading escapes in his past 2 games. But Garrett Whitlock and Mason Miller are available. Miller only in a 1-inning save situation. Those two have been lights out. Fighters will have no good rest in 7 innings. If both pitch tonight, Team USA stands an excellent chance
We're going to get set here for the top of the second inning. Joining with you from the World Baseball Classic in Lone Depot Park in downtown Miami. It's Venezuela in the first ever World Baseball Classic against the United States, who hasn't won one since 2019. Eugenio Suarez will be part of the 4-5-6. Inside sinker will back him off the plate and make it 1-0. Ken Rosenthal had reported really the only one in the back end bullpen for the Stars and Stripes not going to be available today will be David Bednar after his magician tightrope magic over the last couple of games when there was runners at second and third and no outs after Cal Raleigh allowed a pass ball and was able to tightrope out of it as Suarez will follow down the first base line and make it 1-2. I think the count should be 2-1. Maybe they're going to stay Suarez offered at that second pitch. He's got that proverbial lean as he cocks the bat over his shoulders, and then the sweeper, he's way out in front. And McLean has looked pretty good so far for Team USA as he's got the first 4 outs. Again, he was aided by a double play early in the first as Mark DeRosa gives some camera shots. Again, they showed prior World Baseball Classics when DeRosa played first base. He was alongside Derek Jeter and company, but seeing him get booed is one of those things where, how do I feel about it as a USA fan? If you win it, then it's all said and done. But I think not knowing the tiebreakers in the situation, needing that help against Italy, as this second pitch is in for a breaker against Gleyber Torres, make it 0-2. He got a favor from Italy point blank, and even if they win it, I don't think the coaching staff should be coming back. That's my opinion. That's a snapdragon of a curveball, and Gleyber Torres was caught watching. Bottom left corner of the belt, and the Tiger strikes out. And McLean looking good here. He's going to try to get 6 outs and 15 pitches or less, as that was framed beautifully, but it was a better pitch. And McLean just dropped it off. It's not the standard 12-6 that goes across. It's got that one little bend to it on the bottom left, and that's where McLean really tries to get those for the bottom portion of the belt and outside. Everything else outside of the off-speed he will throw for strikes. Ezequiel Tovar is batter number 6. He's the average guy right now, 462, 6 of 13 in this tournament. And he swung and tapped a sweeper foul. It's second pitch. He goes with the sweeper here and dunks it right in front of Judge. And that is why he's hitting close to 500 in this tournament. He goes with the pitch down the left side of his leg and just serves it to shallow right field. And Venezuela has the second hit of the ball game. They've got 1 in each inning so far. So the thing I will say is McLean really, again, late start for him as far as his major league career. And a lot of that has to do with service time and delaying payments. And once you're the Dodgers, you can defer everything up to the end of time and get whoever you want. And that's why they had Kyle Tucker. But if you start getting predictable, even for as good as McLean is, and you throw in those same spots, you imagine all these guys in these nations would pick on them. I know it's easy to say, as a changeup is actually up. It makes it 1-1. Abreu, they say with Jeff Passan, I saw that on X as well, making adjustments to the high fastball to get to him. That was a vulnerability of his last year. Throw over does not get Tovar. They got 1 more disengagement per batter. You could use 2. But it was one of the situations where Abreu can get to those pitches now, even if it's 97, 98. He goes with the pitch toward left field and sprays it foul. He was all over that fastball, just a tad late. It's 1-2. There's a runner at first. That's Tovar after the dink-a-dunk in a shallow right field. Venezuela got a couple of hits, but we're still scoreless in the top of the second. cautious lead for Tovar, about a step and a half. And 99 is a pop-up. And no problem for Bobby Witt Jr. Venezuela goes quietly after a single, no more. We'll go to the bottom of the second.
Prescribes the best lawn care, specific to your yard's needs, delivered every season. Because when you want greener grass, less weeds, and fewer bugs, you can get a personalized prescription delivered free from the helpful folks at Ace. Subscribe now and save 20% on everything you need all year. From our store to your front door, with service so good it's guaranteed. The helpful hardware folks.
The Colonel never wanted to give someone a meal they didn't love, so he made the $20 Build-A-Bucket. Your choice of 8 East chicken or tenders, 4 sides, 4 biscuits. That way, if you weren't happy, you could say, "Don't blame me," or "You built it." KFC's $20 Build-A-Bucket.
Line in, clock out. Corona, La Playa awaits.
Brady gets the field for some of football's finest. Today's Flag Football Classic, Saturday on Fox. Well, Luis Martiros's plan for the pitching staff. Tom Verducci has Venezuela's.
Yeah, manager Omar Lopez is up till 3 o'clock in the morning with the staff huddling for this game. At 8:30, the calls start coming in from Major League executives with instructions.
It's going to be 4, 5, and 6 in that order for the United States, at least as a cutter. Will be outside. They're going to say that Schwarber offered on it, make it 0-1. Schwarber, no stranger to theatrics. You make a mistake, that's going to leave the ballpark. As curveball is way down the way, make it 1-1. Schwarber hitting .364 so far in the World Baseball Classic. Bregman also has excellent numbers throughout his career against Eduard Rodriguez. That's why he got the start today in favor of Gunnar Henderson, who has been one of the darlings in the tournament. And so far, it looks like Erod, even though the first pitch Schwarber went after, would have been 3-0, it's 2-1, but not really wanting to go after Kyle right now. 2-1 pitch. That was a cutter right across the heart of the plate, and a Schwarber a little bit early, 2-2 as he follows it straight back. This is a very dangerous part of the order for Erod to have to deal with, this 4 through 7, particularly for bat-to-ball skills. They're mixing a little bit of speed there with Roman Anthony. 1 home run and 3 RBI for Schwarber and 22 at-bats. 2-2 pitch coming. Is cut on and missed 93. That was just a little bit to the right of the middle of the box. And Schwarber's punches out. That is not something I would have expected. Not a lot of velocity there, but maybe the arm action was enough to fool him. I don't think he's going to get away with that again, to be completely honest with you. I'll leave it up to Alex Bregman. He's been quiet in this WBC, but he does have 4 RBI. He was 2 of 11, batting 182. And inside, they're going to say Bregman win. Not able to hold off on these pitches inside. Looks like the United States getting a little antsy trying to get under the skin of Eduard Rodriguez, but again, they can placate to that if you continue to go for pitches that you shouldn't. And that was awfully tantalizing, but Bregman lays off just low left outside black. Make it 1-1 in this righty-lefty matchup. It's lefty-lefty. I can understand why Chourio has a little bit of time, but Bregman's got the handedness advantage here, and he waves and misses on a changeup way below the plate. Make it 1-2. As PCA and the Cubs get some camera time. Kind of wonder why he's not in the lineup, but again, that's another lefty-lefty. 1-2 as he gets the sign from Salvador Perez. This is a cue shot. Luis Arraez, he will hustle in the bag and step on it and beat Bregman there. And 2 up, 2 down in this bottom of the second. It's been quiet so far between both of these offenses. And that will leave it up to the last hope of the second and Roman Anthony to extend the inning. Roman Anthony is the guy you would imagine on this lefty-lefty again. The Team USA is having Harper, Schwarber, Roman Anthony, and Bryce Terang. 4 lefties, no switch in the mix of Eduardo Rodriguez. So he will have a handedness advantage pretty much in every inning when you go down that order. As the sinker misses inside. Anthony, 318 average, 7-22, 2 bombs, 7 RBI. He's been exceptional, the 20-year-old. That was a perfect pitch. Top right corner on the black, make it 1-1. And Roman Anthony's not going to be able to do anything with that anyway. And Eduardo Rodriguez, once Roman Anthony adjusts the batting gloves, will throw pitch number 21. Little rainbow color for Venezuela. Makes it really easy to identify the catcher. And Salvador Perez, he's been doing this for a long time. As soon as he's done, he can pretty much walk to Cooperstown. 2-time World Series champion, also been an MVP. 2-1. Another cutter misses badly. Make it 3-1 for Roman Anthony. And I know for a 20-year-old, for as hot as he's been right now, if you got the green light, you take it. But if it's not in a spot you like, go ahead and get on base. Pitch clock down to 2. And this is up the gut, and he forced it, did Roman Anthony. No problem for Erod. 3 up, 3 down. We're quiet as we go to the third inning. Still scoreless.
If you're looking to upgrade your home, call John's Electric today. We're your full-service electrical contractor. From home generators to under cabinet or recessed lighting, ceiling fan installation, EV chargers, and more. Right now, take $500 off a Generac automatic standby generator installation and get a free 10-year warranty with purchase. Call today and we'll throw in an Ecobee smart thermostat for the smoothest Generac generator integration. Keep the power on and the furnace going strong. Call the team you can trust. 844-CALL-TOM. Since the dawn of time, man has been plagued by itch and irritation from not wiping fully clean because he was relying on the dry stuff to wipe. Yikes. But what man didn't realize is that wetter cleans better. Behold, wet extra large tube wipes. See how wet tube wipes completely clears while dry tube beats some ears, leaving debris behind. Awareness. Pitch the itch. Switch to wet extra large tube wipes for the best clean, hands down.
The best invitations are the ones that feel personal, that satisfy your desires, that just make your needs, that make you feel welcome. The same feelings every Lexus is designed to elicit. For a limited time, get offers on select vehicles at the invitation to the Lexus sales event.
Get special offers on select Lexus RX models.
Connections. Coverage starts Thursday at 6 on Fox 2. And welcome back to Miami with Venezuela manager Omar Lopez. You know what Nolan McLean will see when I'm spin. What does the approach have to be from your hitters?
Well, we talked about him like in the first outing that he had. He used the bat before seeing. We're expecting exactly what he's doing, like sinkers and
Nolan McLean, first pitch, past a diving Bryce Harper from Salvador Perez. Venezuela has the first 3 hits of the ball game. They've expanded it to the first, second, and third inning. It was 8, 9, and 1, due up at least in this third. Jackson Chourio now has an opportunity. Not really ducks on the pond just yet, but Salvador Perez will likely be tailored to first. I don't think we're going to have any situation where you get a sacrifice yet at this point, so early in the game. But it is scoreless. McLean has given up his 3rd hit, all singles. As Tom Verducci is interviewing Omar Lopez, inside sweeper, called for a strike, beautiful backdoor pitch, and Chourio has to deal with the 0-1. Pitch number 21 for Nolan McLean as he gets the sign from Will Smith. Chourio hitting 250 in the fastball, no problem, hitting 97, and that was an awful called strike, making 0-2. That was at least a few inches out of the zone. 3 for 12, 250, 1 RBI. I know Derek Jeter talking about a little bit with the automated balls and strikes. That ABS system will be here in MLB this season, but again, it's not going to dictate until the calendar turns over to the end of March and April. So right now you got the old rules, but by the time we get to 2030 of the next World Baseball Classic, that'll be far and away already done. Chourio 0-2. A lot of spin on that sweeper, and Chourio offered at a pitch that was never close. And McLean gets his 3rd strikeout. That was way down the way. He fanned on that awfully. Again, a lot of cross-body spin for McLean that we're seeing here. And, I mean, you're going to need a garden hose to hit that baseball if you're going to go ahead and swing for that. So, not really good there. But Ronald Acuna Jr., who opened the game with a rocket of a single into center field, has elite bat-to-ball skills. 99 on an inside sinker. You can see what McLean was trying to do is bunch up Acuna and try to get him to pop up something lazy. Again, I still wonder what his legs are feeling like coming off that serious injury, but nothing wrong with the hands and body. Inside sinker called for a strike, and that backs away Acuna. That was busted him up inside, should have been a ball. I've already said that about 5 times. I feel like we're going to say that more. But if it's that close, you can't swing at it yet until you get your count leverage. Sweeper just a little bit outside enough. Forces a 1-2. 2.06 ERA through 8 career starts, 3rd best in Mets history with Terry Leach and Rick Aguirre. 1-2 against Acuna. It's Venezuela and Team USA in this World Baseball Classic. Still waiting for the game's first run. Salvador Perez is at first. Venezuela's had a single in every inning. 2-2. And Acuna will keep it going here down the first baseline, way out of play up into the crowd as he fights off a sweeper. Venezuela trying to get on top of that, but the only problem is you got to find a way to wait for it to get in the zone. And it's hard to do when you're up against the count, obviously. But it really doesn't seem like McLean wants to throw a lot of those for strikes. He did dot 1 in the second inning. 99 and way up top, make it 3-2. If you want to get a little frisky here, you could put Salvador Perez on the move. If you trust Acuna to put back the ball, I do, but it's going to stay out of the double play possibly. This is up top, and a walk and a single with 1 out. And Venezuela starting to look like they could be in business here, as Maikel Garcia is now the batter numero dos in the lineup. And he's got that many on base right now. As Salvador Perez hit a single and Ronald Acuna Jr. drew a walk. Garcia hit into a double play in the first. McLean needs another one of those, as the sweeper was right there, but Garcia took it for a strike. That was almost middle. 31 pitches into McLean's day, and he's in a little bit of hot water with runners at first and second. Fastball way outside, make it 1-1. Some of the U.S. fans, a little bit of concern on their face. It's early in the third inning. Garcia is a good bat-to-ball player, and this is a sweeper up and out of play directly back amongst the screen. Make it 1-2. So what do you trust? Fastball, cutter, sweeper, changeup. McLean's got the kitchen sink. Andy Pettit's part of that coaching staff. This gets away from Will Smith, and that's going to advance the runners. He spiked a curveball badly in the dirt. It's 2-2. Runners now move up a base to second, third, and McLean has got to find a way to at least only give up a run or less. That was never close for Will Smith to be able to catch, and that advances the runners 90 feet. 2-2. Garcia trying to get the first run of the game for Venezuela. That's smacked pretty hard, and this is caught by Buxton. Salvador Perez is going to go, and he will get there as Acuna touches third. So Perez gets the first run of the ball game, and Venezuela has 2 outs now, but they draw first blood as Maikel Garcia gets a sacrifice fly. Score Chiron is wrong on Fox. We got 2 outs left to go here in this third as Venezuela has taken the lead. It was deep enough, and it was right down the middle enough on a sweeper. If it wasn't for the wild pitch, it would have still been a 0-0 game at this point. But Garcia did his job. He took advantage of McLean's mistake. Curveball. That's in the zone. Bottom right corner. Make it 0-1 against Luis Arraez. You got Acuna at third right now. That's just updated. And you got Luis Arraez at the plate who could easily make this 2-0. Tough guy to strike out. He goes for the sweeper up top. He's just trying to serve it to shallow left field. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out in this game, but he's definitely a guy that can hit you 350 in any season, even better. McLean's got to lock it down here. And then the United States in that third inning got to get it going. Because you'd think if Eduardo Rodriguez hits a couple more, then you can start going to your bullpen, unless he's really locked in. 0-2 against Arraez. This is right to second base for Bryce Terang. Easy throw over, but Venezuela does score. The wild pitch from McLean gives up a run as Maikel Garcia gets a sac fly. Venezuela's got a 1-0 lead as we go bottom 3.
Yeah, even had a few screws left over.
That corn can leave you cloudy and cracked. It's important to not compromise. That's why with farmers you can get quality and savings. Hey, forever, don't you? Come on, we are farmers.
I've been saving for my first house for years, but to get the best mortgage rate, I want to keep my credit. That's why I love taking fee-free with Chime. Plus, with Chime Card, I can build credit safely, and since I direct deposit, I earn 1.5% cash back. I get personalized tips to help build my credit, and by paying my bills through Chime, I grow it even more. I'm up 80 points, and might even be a deliver by the end of the year. Start banking fee-free at Chime, the #1 most loved banking app.
Let's talk Panera's new mix and match menu. Choose 2 or more. It's just $4.99 each. Hold up. Is that a pasta?
Give you a scoring update here. Venezuela's got 3 hits and a walk right now. And USA has nothing to show for it yet against Erod, as they'll get a chance to go to the bat rack. Bottom third at 7-8-9 Dubai. Blue Jackets destroying the Hurricanes. I'm keeping that for a local look for the Red Wings. Blue Jackets will only be a point behind. They're leading 4-1. It's a 2-2 tie between the Bruins and Canadiens. That one is at the Bell Center after 2.
Manipulate the baseball. Finally, how aggressively do you plan to use your bench tonight? All hands on deck, Ted. I mean, this is it. We're playing for a championship, so if the moment's there, we'll pop it.
7, 8, 9 due up for Mark DeRosa's squad. Will Smith, Bryce Strang, Byron Buxton, and I think that was the most softball questions Ken Rosenthal continues to throw at Mark DeRosa. Are you going to use your bench in the championship game? Well, you damn well better. You got nothing else left to do for either one of these squads. Why would you even ask that question? I mean, come on now. 2-0 as the curveball misses inside against Will Smith. This is in toward the hands on a cutter. It's going to be tough across the shell left field. Who wants it? And this will be Wilyer Abreu making the call. Again, you had a couple Venezuelan players in Tovar and Maikel Garcia all going for it. You got to be able to command that out there. And right now, for the first 7 batters, United States don't even have a base runner. Bryce Terang has been exceptional, though. 368, 719, the second baseman of the Brewers, 5 RBI. But you want to see some sort of life, because Eduardo Rodriguez, if he looks like his Red Sox form, then you're in trouble. He had a really good year with the Tigers. He was there for about a year and a half as well. Really liked Eduardo Rodriguez. No problem to mix his pitches, throw a lot of strikes, and not mess around. When you got guys like Jake Rogers and Dylan Dingler, it does make it easier. As Terang gets a base hit past the diving Luis Arraez and the Stars and Stripes get their first base runner in the ball game. Terang's got steal speed as well. He's definitely in the 80 percentile or higher out of 100, so you can watch that. So redeem March 24 to 30th, MLB TV. I will keep the monitor of that next week. And that's available to me, and I'm happy about that. So I'll be able to watch everything outside of the Tigers, as that's still going to be there for me. Happy about that. Byron Buxton is the last up before they turn the lineup over, and that changeup had hit me written all over it. But Buxton took it for a strike. That was high to the left, right into the happy zone. He's 0 for 6 with an RBI. Buxton has a ton of power. His only problem is staying healthy throughout his career, but he's still elite on defense when he's available. Fastball up top at 92, and Buxton does not offer. Make it 1-1. 542 plate appearances, 2025, 35 tanks, 83 RBI, 129 hits, 97 runs, all career highs. You know what he's got. He was one of the only ones left on the Twins as they were embracing a full rebuild. And even for them, I'd have to talk about like Gomer and some of those guys that stream for MLB The Show. Minnesota sports, it can be tough. I think they just decided, hey, Carlos Correa pretty much took him, and then you paid him to go back to Houston. None of that stuff really worked. But Buxton's still there. 1-1. Inside on a fastball, make it 2-1. Trying to bunch up Buxton right now, but he is laying off. Bobby Witt Jr., AL Central, though, will be due up next as the lineup will turn over for the first time unless there's a DP. Swing and a miss on a 92. That was another one in the happy zone, but U.S. really struggling, I guess, as Rodriguez switches speeds enough, but it's just 92. You can't be late on those. I guess you mix in a cutter, a two-seam, and a four-seam, and not really prepared for it right now, as they should be. Especially because Buxton saw a lot of them in the AL Central. 2-2 against Bucks. And he offers it a changeup that was not close. Poor swing for Buxton, as that was about 3-4 inches off the plate. And bottom third, 2 outs, as the lineup will switch over. That was never going to be a strike. But by the time he went to go swing at it, it was already in the glove of Salvador Perez. That'll leave it up to Bobby Witt Jr. Again, it makes you wonder why you got guys like Pete Crow-Armstrong and Gunnar Henderson on the bench. Yes, I know it's lefties, but I would take them over Bregman and Buxton. And I know it's hard to say in terms of the tenure. I'm going to go with the younger kids right now. Bobby Witt Jr. waiting on the L1, and he skies a fastball that was way too high. This will be caught by Jackson Chourio. So the United States do get their first single for Bryce Terang, but no more. Venezuela got a 1-0 lead after 3.
So you're like a mascot for a gas station?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
You're like a gas pump.
And you're a worker. Bird. I'll give you $20 for that piece there. Oh, okay. That's $10. There's working, and then there's growing a business with business plan. There's nothing like having the spending capacity to help keep your business growing. Nothing like being able to work here. And here. And having the confidence of worldwide services will help you everywhere your business takes you. With a suite of benefits and unmatched value. There's nothing like business plan. $10 for a large, $10 for any 2 toppings, $10 for your choice of hot dogs. Because there's crust, and then there's hot crust. Crust create with $10 or in a pizza. Michelob Ultra Zero. Zero alcohol. Ultra sweet taste. Just $29. Stay in the game with Michelob Ultra Zero. Welcome back to the 2026 World Baseball Classic on Fox. Presented by Omar. Inside Logan Boulevard here in Miami. Going McClain into the 4th inning. He lasted longer than he did in full play against Italy. 2 strikeouts, the 1 run last inning, and a sacrifice fly for Maikel Garcia. 4, 5, and 6 coming up for Venezuela. Eugenio Suarez leads off. And sitting there was 1. 40 years of age, playing out of North Carolina to Oklahoma State. He's a two-way guy at 36 home runs during his time there. And he was a two-sport guy. He was more of a football player than he was a baseball player coming out of high school. Quarterback in the football team at Oklahoma State. And this 22 on Suarez.
4, 5, and 6 due up in the 4th. McClain's still out there. Again, a sac fly from Maikel Garcia. Your only run of the ball game right now. And Suarez almost gets buckled on a changeup, but that was right in the call behind the plate. I would say that for the first time, as it's 2-2. About an inch and a half off the plate at most. Shakes off Will Smith for the first time I see McClain. Throws an off-speed pitch. That one spiked into the dirt. Makes a full count against Gino. Gleyber Torres will be next regardless, but Suarez, if he can work his way on with a walk or anything, might start to push the end of the day for McClain, depending. I know it's only pitch number 42, but you would think the bullpen's going to be more active in this final. Inside, that one hurt him a little bit as he had to file a sinker off his shin. And Suarez is going to need a minute as he's waiting on the full count pitch. United Football League, March 27, 29 on Fox ESPN. Again, that is kind of mixed in between a perpetuity of the XFL, alongside with Vince McMahon and The Rock and everything else that they've been trying to do. Gleyber waiting on deck and getting some camera time. As McLean gets the sign from Smith. Full count against Gino. And on the hands, and he will keep it alive with a contact effort. It's one of those long at-bats. Again, you saw that a lot in between Arizona and Cincinnati. He's going back to Cincy. This one up the gut. Bryce Terrain plays it off the hop. Gino don't got a ton of speed, so easy toss over to Harper. 1 up, 1 down to begin the fourth. Paul Skeens is watching over there. I haven't seen a camera shot of Tarek Skubal just yet. You know, he only pitched a couple of those innings to open the World Baseball Classic. I think once he gets paid by the Tigers or someone else next year, I think by the time you get to 2030, you're going to see Tarek Skubal throwing some flamethrower alongside Skeens. Those guys aren't going anywhere in the next 4 years. They might change teams, but they'll be preeminent members of the Stars and Stripes as the curveball falls back from Gleyber Torres. He's talking to Logan Webb as a sweeper is way down below the left side of the leg. And Gleyber Torres gives that one an offer. As they show Suarez getting hurt a little bit by that pitch, he goes, I'm all right. He just fouled that one off his left leg. I know Mariners fans really like Gino, and I did too. It's a shame they weren't able to keep him. They did keep Josh Naylor, though. Gleyber Torres does not offer that same curveball that was even lower. Just trying to get Torres to offer at something to reach. Generally, Gleyber's got a great eye, and he won't go after anything until you may have to give it to him. Again, it was a bases-loaded walk in extras that won a game for the Tigers, and this sinker isn't in the zone, but Gleyber punches out. That's the second time Gleyber's punched out on 2 balls that were called strikes. Let's look at this again. Yeah, that's off the plate and low on a sinker, on a couple inches down. And Gleyber's got the right idea. He's had the right eye. He just hasn't gotten the result. Ezequiel Tovar, this one's in on the hands. We'll back him off. Colorado Rockies hitter, you got Hunter Goodman as well. You got a couple guys that can really spank the baseball in Colorado. They just don't have a ton of good pitching yet. But they're starting to get some prospects. You know, that's been a horribly run organization for a long time. McLean going to run out of the way. Bryce Harper going to make the catch. Venezuela goes quietly in the fourth. They lead 1-0. It's Harper, Judge, Schwarber, bottom 4 next.
My dog won't go and take that. Oh, my watch machine don't turn off, so I get just the thing. Woo! You make a pretty good thing, Jack. Want to try to catch Arraez? There's no fee in the middle from Capital One Savings Accounts. Now, what's in your wallet? International. All of his teeth are wisdom teeth. He's allowed to swim right underneath him. He can always detect sarcasm in text messages. He is still the most interesting man in the world. I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I forget the sentence. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Chicken al pastor is back at Chipotle, where fire meets flavor, where heat meets pineapple sweet, where chicken meets the sizzle of
Edits, I appreciate you for saying hello. It is going to be the bottom of the 4th inning, and the United States has some work to do. It's Harper, Judge, and Schwarber due up 2-3-4. Coach Signetti is going to be the honorary pace car driver, and why not in the Indianapolis 500? Because Indiana won the college football championship. It's It's been a long time since any of that stuff happened. If you're a fan of Indianapolis sports, it's been a long time not to cheer about anything for that collegiately for football, but that was incredible for them. Got a big pay raise, and I imagine it's going to be a big boon to their football program as well as far as recruitment. Eduardo Rodriguez just one hit and three strikeouts as Bryce Harper swings and misses, makes it 0-1. I have a hard time believing that Harper should still be in this lineup considering the way that he's played in the WBC, but he can make that all right with a hit as it is 1-1. A sinker inside of the bottom of the legs. But he's been able to take the four-seam, two-seam, and cut. They're all fastballs, only really going from 90 to 94, but kind of take the timing away. Gleyber Torres will swallow that up to Luis Arraez in the United States as their first back go quietly, as that leaves it up to Aaron Judge, just his second plate appearance of the day. He got called on a strikeout looking that was a ball. That's happened a couple times to Venezuela and Gleyber Torres. And they had some shots there of Bryce Harper dejectedly going in the dugout. Rodriguez only thrown pitch number 39 as a changeup misses way low. Again, the strike zone for somebody like Judge is much different to the strike zone as somebody like Jose Altuve, who's probably still watching. We saw some chances of him yesterday. Harper, this is up the gut on a fastball, and again, he's late. 93 inside. It's been the timing that has been a little bit missed for the United States. 1-1 against Big Aaron Judge. Eduardo Rodriguez gets the sign from Salvador Perez. Changeup. He's out in front. Luis Arraez, courtesy look, but this will hit the netting. It'll still be alive for Judge, but it's 1-2. 2025 MLB leader. Average next closest was 311. He was 331. On base percentage 457. The next closest was 400. And on base plus slugging, another 100 points clear. The best hitter in all of baseball last season. I know some people get really upset about Shohei Ohtani and the two-way play. I don't know how you can. He's the best player in baseball. You can call Judge the best hitter. That's accurate, but Ohtani does both. Can't be argued. 1-2. Judge swings and misses on a pitch not close. And Eduardo Rodriguez has his fourth strikeout. And this looks like prime Eduardo Rodriguez. But Judge, again, just not being patient enough at the plate. The U.S. is caught in between. And it's either more on Eduardo Rodriguez or these U.S. hitters not having a game plan. But he looks to be locked in today. Schwarber. Snapdragon of a curveball that will go start inside and go all the way down to the bottom right, but Schwarber lays off. So Judge is punched out twice. Cutter in that same spot that the sweeper was makes it 2-0 against Schwarber, but be careful here. Can't go ahead and lay anything in. Now, U.S. has been unattentively late on a lot of these pitches, but it only takes one adjustment. Another cutter, again, not close. Rodriguez, in his at-bat the first time around, Schwarber was very passive as far as throwing to the Phillies slugger. Miguel Cabrera, I saw him on the railing. That makes me happy as a Tigers fan. Way outside, 4-pitch walk for Kyle Schwarber, none of them close. He will get a courtesy pass, 90 feet. George Lombard, the first base coach of the Tigers, also there for Venezuela. I'd like to see A.J. Hinch be the manager in 2030 if he wants to take it. I know he's going to have Tigers duty. Eduard Bazardo of the M's is starting to get warm. If Eduardo Rodriguez goes a clean 4, he might be thinking about 5. as Bregman. This is low, but the changeup is called a strike. So make it 0-1. There's been about 10 of those. I would say about 50-50 between both teams getting messed up from it, to be fair. Changeup low, cutter high. Only one of them got the call. It's 1-1. Mark DeRosa got the aviator glasses on, looking like a white Forrest Grant at this point, but those are the ones that reminds me. I'm not quite Coke bottle, but you know what they are in the mid-90s. Inside to Bregman, who's got to back out of the way on a 92. And maybe Omar Lopez, as Rodriguez has missed 6 of the last 7. I think he was just being cautious against Schwarber. Kind of knew what the sign was. You can see Rod before anyone else did. He's trying to go unblemished through 4, but got to find the zone again. Bregman in on the hands, 2-2 and a cutter. Will follow back. Then Rodriguez now halfway through the century mark, trying to get through a clean 4 innings. Venezuelan crowd urging for another punch out. That would be his 5th. Lone Depot Park getting loud on a 2-2. First to toss over to Schwarber. Not sure why, but it does give you time to also reset the pitch clock and think about what they want to do with Salvador, Perez, and Eduard. Schwarber's only going to take a tenuous lead, maybe a step at that. Into the hands. No problem at short. Tovar goes the short way to second, and USA finally gets a base runner off a base hit and a walk, but nothing else. That's all they got in this game. Through 4, Venezuela's got a 1-0 lead.
Trying to predict the future is a hazardous occupation. The only thing we can be sure of is that it will be absolutely fantastic. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough, the communication satellite. These things will make possible the world of us. We can be in instant contact with each other wherever we may be. When that time comes, the whole world will strike to a point.
What's the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ronald offers FDA-approved weight loss connection cheaper, so you can see weight loss results faster. Lose 20% of your weight with the formula that hits not 1 but 2 hormones for less hunger and faster results. Weight loss, faster, confidence, higher, price, cheaper. See if you can afford it at Ronald.com/TV.
Seven, 8, 9 are going to be due up here for Venezuela. Abreu, Perez, and Chourio.
Getting it done takes the right material, experience, and the right partner. The professional grade products you need. Call Ranger.com or stop by Ranger for the ones who get it done. It's the USF kickoff on Fox. The Birmingham Stallions take on the newcomer Louisville Kings. It all begins Friday, March 22nd, and continues Saturday and Sunday on Fox and ESPN.
Now, I was talking initially about this game maybe possibly being done at midnight, but the way that it's been going right now between these pitching stabs, West Venezuela starts to light up McLean here, as it's still 1-0 into the 5th. USA can just be swept aside quietly in this final game. So Eduardo Rodriguez, he's been the shining star right now. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, no walks. 7, 8, 9 will be due up officially for the quarter side. Abreu, Perez, and Chourio for Omar Lopez squad. They still have a 1-0 lead that was scored in the 3rd inning on a sac fly. Abreu, big swing. Buxton sees it go to the wall. It's gone. Wilyer Abreu gives Venezuela a 2-0 lead on the Stars and Stripes. Big shot, dead center field. and he's getting mobbed by his teammates. 414, no problem clearing that big wall. And you see the passion of WBC that you have not seen from the USA that have been more button lace. And we'll see if that kind of clenches everything for the United States and urges them to get going, or if they're going to continue to suck their thumbs because Abreu just gave a big blast across center field in Venezuela in the driver's seat here. Inside on a sweeper will back away Salvador Perez, but this is giving me Team Japan flashbacks from 4 years ago when Otani struck out Trout. Again, he goes home, but USA one more time, just like they did in the World Baseball Classic final, could find themselves on the opposite end. For Team USA, Keller now starting to get warm. Brad Keller, as McLean about to throw pitch number 56, he's given up 2 runs. Inside on a sinker. Again, Wilyer Abreu, Roman Anthony, a lot of these Red Sox, Jaron Duran, in a mix of it, they have had an exceptional WBC. You know how good they are. Not close on a sweeper. It's 3-1, and DeRosa not really showing much emotion here. A little bit of an eye roll on that camera shot. 1 single and a run scored. Perez goes down low when it's a full count, fight off a changeup. John Otter with you from Lone Depot Park. It's the site of the World Baseball Classic in 2026. And Wilyer Abreu has just given Venezuela a 2-0 lead. Perez with a big swing. This is a shallow can of corn to Byron Buxton. He's got the first out, about the 5th.
Chourio, who's 21 years old in this team, got together a few weeks ago and ran Omar Lopez. That's some put a lot of pressure on the first. So you can understand.
Salvador Perez pops out in the top of the 5th. That gives me the recorrection for the recorder. And it was a home run for Wilyer Abreu at the 7th spot. Jackson Chourio before we flip over the second time around. He's waiting on the 0-2. McLean trying to keep it at 2 as this sinker misses badly. Again, a wild pitch. He's definitely responsible for that first run as Miguel Cabrera is Venezuela's hitting coach. The 2-time MVP, World Series champion with Jim Leyland in 2003. Another one, Bryce Terang. We'll call this one off. 2 down now for Venezuela as we flip over the 3rd time to Ronald Acuna Jr. But before that happens, looks like McLean's day is done. They gave up 2 runs. He's responsible for the loss right now. DeRosa makes the hook. Keller going to come in.
Really good start. We consider the lineup that he's faced up with. He's given Team USA a chance. But Wilyer Abreu is giving Venezuela a 2-0 lead with a shot to straightaway center to open the 5th.
If you think what's hot Italian sub from Jersey Mike's, the only sub that serves as hot as its hot takes. Hot take, everyone wants to be hot. Substitute. Here's another hot take. Lefty cheese pulls, way too hot for TV. 3rd hot take, chopped pepperonis Subway.
So McLean's line is final. Let's update that.
Actually, that last hot take was more of a hot fact. The old man Mike's hot Italian sub for a limited time only.
4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts.
Like you said, every turn matters.
The yard looks incredible. Thanks. It was.
We'll throw this update here for you on the YouTube side today. You guys are definitely right about Venezuela, because when it's a couple of runs here and the way DeRosa has managed things, unless you see the U.S. get their head out of the you-know-what, 2 runs looks pretty daunting. Appreciate you guys jumping in. I just gave you an update here as we go to the top of the 5th with 2 outs. Keller going to come in to face Acuna. But that is your latest update. Brad Keller will come in now to face Ronald Acuna Jr. and the sinker almost spikes him in the cleats. It's 1-1 for Acuna today with a single and a walk. And you have him at the top of your order. That's the most dynamic leadoff hitter you can get in the game, in my opinion, is Acuna. Spike this to Bobby Witt's got a cannon of an arm, and he has to dig it in the dirt, does Bryce Harper, but he saves it. And after that home run for Abreu, it's 2-0, but Venezuela has kept in with a little bit of a fence post scoring. It'll be Anthony, Smith, and Terang 6-7-8 for DeRosa's squad, bottom 5. Venezuela leads 2-0.
TikTok has over 50 preset safety and privacy settings to protect teams. Plus, as a parent, I set up family pairing to help shape my team's experience on the app. I'll give you their followers and who they follow, further restrict content that's not right for them, and even set screen time limits. So they're not on TikTok when they shouldn't be. Because when safety goes first, discovery can follow.
It'll be Anthony, Smith, and Terang 6-7-8, bottom 5. When Venezuela is up 2-0 and we come back. USA at the bat rack.
That's rough. But hey, with Safe Play, you can get that fixed any way you want.
Gets you a couple updated scores to tell you about. I'm just looking here locally for the Wings who are off today. Who has what scores, and what are we looking at? The Bruins and the Canadiens 2-2. If everybody gets a point there, that's definitely going to hurt. Blue Jackets will be just a point behind the Red Wings here as they lead the Canes 5-1. They're not going to blow that. Blackhawks trying to fight their way back into the game against the Wild. That one on TNT, but the Wild lead 3-2 with a 3-goal outburst in the first. Leon Draisaitl going to miss the rest of the regular season, supposedly, as the Sharks and Oilers are tied at 1. But the Oilers just scored. It's Connor Murphy on a wrist shot. It just happened. As we go to the standings, Edmonton Oilers have 75 points. They would be 3 points clear of any Pacific Division foe, as the Sharks are 5 out. The Kraken are 4 out. The Kings are 4 out. The Oilers would not have any games in hand. They'd be maybe 2 games in behind, depending on what happens. They haven't done a deep dive yet. They should be able to hold on to a playoff spot, but I don't know how well the Oilers will do this year. I think it's the right call. Eduardo Rodriguez still out there. He's looking like a typical start that you would get in the middle of summer, as it's 0-1 against Roman Anthony. He's been locked in, mixing in all of his fastball as well. I know only topping out between 90 and 94, just 1 walk. Again, I didn't have that listed there. I think that's also a mistake as far as that, except for Schwarber, who just happened. I just updated that now. But 93, way outside. Make it 2-1. Edward Bazardo still getting loose, maybe more courtesy tosses than anything else. But you got Roman Anthony against Rodriguez and a lefty-lefty. Big swing and a miss on a cutter late at that. Never a strike. But he's been locked in. Again, 2-seam, 4-seam cutter, up, down, and all around has been the primary. He has mixed in a changeup as he usually does. Crowd getting loud here. Way down low on a cutter. It's a full count against Roman Anthony. Talked about it in between Abreu, Anthony, Duran. A lot of Red Sox having wonderful World Baseball Classics, and that hopefully is particular to the beginning of the season in a couple of weeks. Anthony, this one is right to second. Gleyber Torres, no problem. Third will be Arraez, and the U.S. start the fifth quietly as it's 1 up, 1 down. So Lopez will go out. Omar Lopez, Eduardo Rodriguez's day is done. He was perfect as he'll get set to depart. Eduard Bazardo coming in, trying to get the last 2 outs of the fifth. Should not be a surprise. Erod is an excellent pitcher. I always liked him as a Tiger and a Red Sox. I thought he was wonderful.
Thank you for coming in. I'm a bit worried about that Junior. I know how important Liberty Mutual is to your family.
That customized car insurance to save people hundreds.
Right.
So Erod's line is final. Let's give that to you.
Well, we see so many trade, right?
He did not.
So just 1 hit.
So we're at the film festival.
Let me just put this in a little more order. So 4 1/3 scoreless, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts for Erod.
Experience once-in-a-lifetime trips to the most exciting places. We chase that light reserve.
There's nothing like celebrating a big win. And now, we're celebrating something bigger than sports. Well, your family. But, Mom, I don't want to get out as much as you can your body. For me, just stay grounded. People who make my mouth better.
Throw this in the comment box as well for those of you to follow along. Erod's line is done. He was excellent today. Let's go back to the play-by-play. It is Eduard Bazardo against Will Smith. And that's a sweeper right in the honey hole, right down the middle of the plate. Takes it for a strike. It is 2 2/3 in this WBC. 2 hits, 1 earned run, and 1 strike out, no walks for Bazardo. Will Smith gets that again. He better pull the trigger, but you're probably not going to see another pitch. So it's like a sweeper right down the middle off speed. 96 up top, make it 1-1. But I see the U.S., and I know Erod had him in the rocking chair as far as the fastball, but there's been a lot of late swings and not a lot of confident swings. Again, that's 96 challenged right down the middle. 14 innings, no runs allowed for the Venezuela in their bullpen in the last 2 games. They do this, they'll at least win by 2-0 or more. USA's offense, they've had some games with smattering where they scored 10 against Brazil or some of the things like that, but there's been a lot of talk in between John Smoltz and Joe Davis in the sense of how quiet it's been. What I can say in my first WBC covering this year in this final, it's been quiet all day. Really just the 1 hit for Bryce Terang and a walk for Schwarber, and that was more of a courtesy. Smith, another sinker, challenged at 2-2. And will be sent straight back. Smith's not having a good job of squaring up any of these pitches, but they're right there. 2-2. As he'll get the sign from Salvador Perez. Still doing it behind the plate. Strike 3, that is right there on the bottom left of the leg in the zone. And that is a sweeper that was caught looking for Will Smith. And the United States looks like they need the training wheels on the bike right now. They look anemic on offense. That's me being kind. Someone's got to pour the cereal and the milk and feed it at this point because Venezuela's feeding the United States, even though it's just 2-0. Bryce Terang got a good swing. He was a little early there on that sweeper. 1-for-1, a single and a third. Other than Terang and Anthony, Gunnar Henderson, you'd think he needs to get into this game right now when he gets his next chance. And I would even say maybe next go around, if you get one more at bat for Byron Buxton, then you're going to have to go to PCA. Can't mess around here. You got to go with the guys that can get you some hits. That is a good pitch on the inside black of Terang, and all he could do was look at it. The sinker, make it 1-2. Judge with the eye black, give him some shots. All the Venezuelan players want another punch out. Terang will stay with the sweeper. All he can do is follow it straight back. It's still 1-2. The U.S. about to go quietly through the first 5 innings of this ball game. They'd only be down 2-0, but it seems like you had a 0 to the end of Venezuela's score. I know that's being a little hyperbolic, but the way that they've pitched and the way that the United States have looked in this game, 2-0 feels like something more, much more extra. 1-2. That is a good sweeper, but it's a little low. A lot of movement on that. Takes about 3 or 4 seconds before it drops off the plate. That is much better than anything I saw from Eduardo Rodriguez, and he was scoreless. Terang throws right to second. That's where Gleyber is. An easy 1-2-3. Go the United States. They're scoreless through 6. That's where we head. Venezuela up 2-0. It will be Maikel Garcia, Luis Arraez, and Eugenio Suarez, 2-3-4, due up for Venezuela, as we'll get set in the 6th inning. I will be right back.
They've done a good job. They did it against the Dominican Republic, although had a 2-1 margin of victory now. They want to reverse what the score was the last time they were in the championship. Gleyber Garcia leads off their 6 sets straight. Lost in the championship game against Japan. Garcia
As we check back into the play-by-play, Keller's out there against Maikel Garcia, and this will be a can of corn to Byron Buxton. One up, one down to begin the sixth for Omar Lopez's squad. They are in good standing. They're up 2-0 against the Stars and Stripes right now. Again, they're talking a little bit as Jose Buto of the San Francisco Giants starting to get warm for Team Venezuela, but the way U.S. has looked against this game is how they looked 4 years ago against Japan when Otani struck out Trout. They're just not getting any offense going, and they've been completely shut down. Luis Arraez did not swing at Keller's pitch on a cutter outside, make it 1-0. Luis Arraez is one of the preeminent contact hitters in all of baseball, as we said, the modern-day Tony Gwynn. This one's popped up to Byron Buxton several steps to his left, makes the catch, and Venezuela quickly 2 outs at the top of the 6th inning. My name is John Ott, watching this one alongside Fox World Baseball Classic 2026 Championship live at Lone Depot Park in downtown Miami. I appreciate you joining me for this one. I apologize, it's only the first game I've covered in this tournament. I've been busy there with a lot of Sharks duties in the MIHL alongside for semi-pro hockey. So trying to battle all that stuff and then trying to get a little bit set up for maybe the tournament on Thursday. Got to do some cleanup before some birthday plans and assignment this weekend. Suarez, because this is almost at the third base coach of Venezuela. Let me see if I can get a number on that. I know I got my stuff down here. Third base coach is Ruglis Odor. Almost got smoked with a baseball. And then a strike 3 call against Suarez. He doesn't normally punch out. Keller does his job. Now it's time for U.S. offense to get to work. Buxton, Witt, and Harper, 9-1-2.
So, like, if you want just one, you're going to need to find a friend who loves slow roasted chicken, bacon, and avocado ranch. Or a friend of a friend who loves slow roasted chicken, bacon, and avocado ranch. Or from a complete stranger to see if they are obsessed with slow roasted chicken, bacon, and avocado ranch. Or you can just eat with both. With your chicken, bacon, ranch, or chili with a Taco Bell.
So 1 in the 5th. I just wanted to make sure I got that for the score, Chiron, for me, for the story. It won't be a long one, I don't think, because I'm going to have to make sure I take the pills, get some food, and get everything set up for tomorrow. But it is a run in the 3rd and a 1 in the 5th. It's a sacrifice fly from Maikel Garcia out the wild pitch from McLean that got past Will Smith. And then a solo shot for Wilyer Abreu. It's been a while since Venezuela even went 1-2-3 because even in the first 3 innings they had at least a base runner off a single. Let's look one more time at that NHL update. Bruins and Canadiens go to OT, so that doesn't help the Red Wings at all. It is $1:08 left, and the Hurricanes about to lose to the Blue Jackets, so they'll pick up 2 points. We look at the live standings. If we update that, that hasn't gone official just yet, but we know that that's done. Columbus will have 81 points. The Bruins will have at least 82, and the Red Wings will fall to the 2nd wild card spot. Bruins will have 68 games played alongside with Detroit. Columbus will have a game in hand with 67. Jose Buto going to get set to check in. Jose Buto going to get set to check in, and Mark DeRosa used his first option off the bench. PCA going to come in for Byron Buxton. Don't know why PCA wasn't just playing to begin with. If you're going to go with a bunch of lefties anyway, correct? .294 average in this WBC, and now you got to go against this Venezuelan bullpen that has been lights out. Buto has been really, really good for the Giants nonetheless anyway. Venezuela is shutting things down over the last 16, 17 innings in their bullpen. But the United States in the bottom 6, I would have to say, need to get going now. As Wilyer Abreu should be able to make the catch across left field, and PCA will pop out. So as this lineup turns over, the United States are going to start to run out of chances, and I've been waiting to use this line, and it hurts me to say it as a USA fan living in the States, but the only thing USA won today so far is the coin toss as far as being the home team, because they're everything else right now. We don't look too good. Bobby Witt Jr., perfect pitch on the bottom left of the black. Make it 0-1. Will Vest of the Detroit Tigers is starting to get warm. I really like Will Vest. I know AJ Hinch has said if there was a zombie apocalypse, the first man I'd ride with is Will Vest. That's his guy to close, and that is high, high praise as far as trying to be able to lock things down, because I don't think even down 2-0 with the bottom 6 and 1 out, U.S. can afford to give up any more runs with the way this offense looks. 96 on a sinker up top has popped up again, and Luis Arraez, no problem, makes the catch. I mean, they're swinging with slinkies up at the bat rack at this point, as Mark DeRosa is just itching his eye. He just looks like a robot back there when they're showing his camera shots. This team does not look prepared. I will say that Venezuela has done an excellent job, first and foremost, shutting down the United States. You got to give them credit. But these no extended at-bats, swinging at some tough pitches, maybe taking some ones that probably should have been walks. But even if you count 2 walks for the United States, you could also count 2 for Venezuela. If we're being completely fair, they're just outplaying the United States badly. Bryce Harper, 2-0 on a slider, both way down in the dirt. If there's ever anyone that needs to get going, this is in the 2-hole and Bryce. They walked in with Team USA hockey jerseys, did the baseball players, but they didn't bring any of that luck back with them. I saw before this game started. Hockey team went for the triple sweep, and they also beat Canada in baseball, but Canada is not Venezuela. Not close on a sinker, and Harper's had nothing to think about. Tarek Skubal getting some camera shots now alongside Paul Skeens. Really would have wished he would have pitched again. I think all U.S. fans are thinking that. Even as a Tigers fan, I say it. Courtesy take was down the middle for Bryce Harper, and it's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and you don't swing. I just don't get that. 3-1. Now he goes after a pitch that he inside outs toward right field. Acuna will play on a hop. The United States got a single, I think, for the first time since the 3rd inning in Bryce Terang, it feels like. It's been a long time. Aaron Judge, one swing, could tie this game a dose. That seems like a fever dream, but that is what the math will dictate. He struck out twice, once swinging and once looking. That one should have been ball 4. Judge, not close on a slider, and Buto trying to walk the tightrope because one hanging pitch could leave the ballpark. That's what U.S. fans are hoping. The slider also misses very low. It started 3-0 for Harper before the 3-1 and a base hit. It starts 2-0 for Judge in this sequence with 2 outs in the bottom 6, and Venezuela up a couple of runs. Home run leader since 2019. Judge clears that about 35 from Cal Raleigh. Salvador Perez now with the first meeting on the mound. And alongside for Jose Buto, got Gleyber Torres with him on the infield just in case if you got any runners there who wants to go. Bryce probably about average speed. maybe slightly above average. I would say 60 percentile of 100, but not the fleetest of foot. Bryce Harper, I wonder what's running through his mind as he finally gets a hit, but Aaron Judge, only one thing on his mind is detonation at this point. 2-0. Does the Yankee slugger wait on? Slider, yikes, down the middle of the plate. He takes it for a strike. That's a hit me cement mixer, but he does not swing at. 2-1. Some of those jerseys look like New York Rangers colors. 3-1 on a slider. So he did not swing at the other pitch that would have been a slam likely, at least deep somewhere to left field. Now it's a 3-1 leverage, and Budo's really got to be careful. Get this sign from Salvador Perez. He's setting him way outside. Actually finds it beautifully down the middle, and Judge took that for a strike, and even John Smoltz said, I'm surprised. Look, I'm trying to be honest here with you from what we see, but you got two pitches that are right there. For Judge, he doesn't swing in. One for Harper that was there that he inside outed finally. Full count, 2 outs. Harper will be off with the pitch. Judge, third base Garcia should be no problem. And Buto does his job. He is pumped up. He fires up his teammates, and he goes to the dugout. Venezuela are leaving the United States with 9 outs left. As they go to the top 7, they lead 2-0. It's not much to say for the United States. I think they have the wrong approach, especially against Buto there. When you got Aaron Judge, 2 cement mixers and a fastball slider, that's pretty much middle, low. Don't know how you don't even swing at those, to be honest with you. He did ground out to third, Maikel Garcia. And the United States are still scoreless through 6 innings. They just do not look good. Venezuela full marks of their pitching staff. Eduardo, Rodriguez, now Buto and Bazardo. But if you got pitches to hit and you don't swing at them and you got this lineup, looks like they're in their head. And I would say Mark DeRosa did not do a good job alongside this staff of getting these guys prepared today. When really Omar Lopez has. That's the only thing I can say. You got to be fair and honest. Let's give you a couple NHL finals, I'm sure by now. Canadiens get the extra point on the Bruins. Blue Jackets do win 5-1. Islanders win 3-1 over the Maple Leafs. It's 3-1 Oilers over the Sharks. That's a surprise considering Draisaitl out. That Selly-Pod, Colson, Connor Murphy, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, secondary scoring all over the place. Connor McDavid just the 1 assist. Will Vest from the Detroit Tigers will take on his Tigers teammate in Gleyber Torres. I don't know if Mark DeRosa knows that. 6-5 for Will Vest, 3.01 ERA, 68 2/3, 75 strikeouts, 22 walks. He's Mr. Everything for Detroit, but with Gleyber Torres being able to see his teammates so much in BPs and spring training, you would think he would have an advantage here. 5, 6, and 7 for Omar Lopez's squad in this top 7. Vest. He gets Gleyber. Gleyber goes 0 for 3 with 3 punchies as the sweeper dispatches Gleyber Torres. So that's good work there for the Google Eye and Wool Vest. I like it. And I'll leave it up now to Ezequiel Tovar of the Colorado Rockies. Wool Vest, again, is the preeminent arm for the Tigers in their bullpen. He is sometimes, I would say a lot of times, asked to get 6-out saves when they don't have everything together. When they had to use pitching chaos, Wool Vest is the guy that you always put your trust in. And anytime he does give up any runs, you're surprised, but you really don't blame him because his workload is at a premium. As Tovar gets busted inside on a fastball 1-1, Wool Vest get the sign from Will Smith. Tovar will put this to left field. He'll get a solid single as this one is thrown in by Roman Anthony. Ezequiel Tovar got a couple of singles to tell you about. Venezuela's got their first base runner at the 7th, 1 out. Smack that one right up the middle, and you just got to take those pitches right back where they come from, and that is what a sign of a good hitter will do. Ezequiel Tovar has premium defense. He's got good bat-to-ball skills, and hopefully it's somebody that the Colorado Rockies can keep signed for a long time. Kind of like Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki back in the day. I mean, you got Troy Tulowitzki, maybe a little bit more power than Tovar. I don't know. Throughout the grand stretch of his career, but Tovar has got the same diamond-level glove that Tulowitzki had. He's that good. Snap on a slider is 2-0. Wilyer Abreu has already had a deep tank past Buxton in center field. Now it's PCA in that same spot. One more run here might be enough to kill the United States. It's a 2-0 lead still for Venezuela. Runs in the 3rd and 5th fence post. That's why it's 2-0. USA still blanked on the scoreboard entirely as we're getting late in the 2026 World Baseball Classic. I'm your play-by-play man, John Ott. Thank you for joining me tonight on this Tuesday. It's good to call a baseball game. Abreu with a big cut on a slider will send that one straight back, make it 2-1. Doing these games make them go by a lot faster than actually watching them, that's for sure. And I just don't feel the nerves when I get play-by-play. When I watch, I feel the nerves. I feel at home doing the play-by-play in between all of the baseball, NBA, NHL, all the Sharks assignments. We've had a lot of practice alongside Cooper Hopkins. I want to say, Cooper, I miss you as well, my man. It's would have been fun to cover this WBC with you, regardless win, lose, or draw. But he's gotten much busier over the years since we started in between 2022. 2-2 for Will Vest against Wilyer Abreu. This is a long sign from Will Smith. This is a excuse me swing right to Bobby Witt. And all he's going to be able to do is get the out at first. We'll advance the runner. And that will work out for Wilyer Abreu. And it'll be Salvador Perez, as long as I have this correct in my order. I might have misspoke, but let me make sure that I did not. Yeah, Salvador Perez is up next. You got Ezequiel Tovar moves to second, Wilyer Abreu with the excuse me swing, as we have 2 outs. Let me get Mr. Genge in here. Hopefully he can ride with me the rest of the way. As a diving shot down the third base line. That is foul. And we will stay with Tovar at second. Salvador Perez almost made this a 3-0 game. But it's 0-1 against Salvi. Ian Genge, my friend, how are you doing?
Doing good, Mr. Ron. Are you doing good?
I said we are doing much better than the USA offense. That's for sure. Salvador Perez with a big swing and a miss, make it 0-2.
You know, part of me is torn. The U.S. and Bobby Witt Jr. versus Venezuela, who have Maikel Garcia and Salvador Perez.
Yeah, you get to win either way, my friend, and
pretty much.
it's good to see Salvi be able to do well. This just popped up. Who's going to get it? It's Aaron Judge. No runs scored in that 7th, but it's still 2-0 left for Venezuela as we go bottom 7. Schwarber, Bregman, Anthony. USA got to get going. They're in the final 9 outs.
John, so Salvador Perez right now. But whatever, I don't know what everyone's opinion is on how to get the whole game, but let me go ahead and tell you where he is. Salvador Perez has 303 home runs, all with the Kansas City Royals.
Yep, 330.
The guy that is at the top of that leaderboard is George Brett. George Brett won a World Series, hit 317 home runs, and well, I think he was an MVP. Pretty sure he was an MVP 1 year.
Yep.
So that's the only thing that Salvi doesn't have going for him. But I still hear no counter arguments when I say that not if, but when Salvi breaks that Royals, he becomes the home run leader for the Kansas City Royals. He's already done enough, in my opinion, to be a Hall of Famer. He does that, and it's his 318th home run. Put him in Cooperstown. I'm serious.
I said it earlier, Ian, before you joined the broadcast about Salvi with the second time up there. I think he's walking to Cooperstown as soon as his career is done.
I hope so.
I got nothing but the ultimate respect for him, and I will also say that alongside for us, I know it's friendly rivals in between the Tigers and the Royals. Every time I know he's a pain in the you-know-what, but I got the ultimate respect for him, and I would love to be able to see him finish out his career until not only with the Royals as he will, and be an instant Hall of Famer as he is.
Yeah. Hindsight is 2020, but for 1 year there was a moment where they considered trading him. And I was on board with it because the team wasn't rock bottom. We had nothing.
Right.
We were still paying for 4 years. We needed a jolt. Thankfully, Flores prevailed. Salvi stayed in Kansas City, and I'm glad. I'm glad.
Let me ask you this, Ian, before I get back into the play-by-play. Is Angel Zerpa still a member of the Royals?
No, we traded him to Milwaukee for an outfielder. What was his name? Isaac Collins.
Gotcha. Because Zerpa's on the mound right now against Schwarber, and it is 1-1, unless they're going to say that he offered. No, he did not. So 1-1 against Schwarber. So Schwarber's got a walk. Bryce Terang has a base hit. I think the United States also have one other one. We only got 2 hits in this game. They got shut down by Eduardo Rodriguez. It's a perfect pitch for Zerpa on the outside black, make it 1-2. Schwarber not having much contest with the home plate umpire as he shouldn't. This crowd's starting to get loud. You have Andres Gimenez now with the Blue Jays, but the former Guardian at second base, if I see that correctly. Venezuela crowd's been into this for a long time. Another pitch buckles Schwarber, but it's 2-2 just on the outside black. For the United States, they've made one sub. PCA is coming for Byron Buxton in the 9-hole, but everyone else, Gunnar Henderson, did not play today, still available. Schwarber swings and misses. Zerpa does the job, and they get the first up by strikeout in the bottom of the 7th.
I understand PTA played the last game against the DR, runs in an attempted comeback against Italy. He had, I think he had a hit. No, he didn't have a hit against the DR, or did he? Can't remember. But regardless, why you sub out? I understand lefty righty matchup,
Right.
but considering the fact that you still have, a Roman Anthony, Kyle Schwarber in there, what's really the difference?
Can I say the same thing about Gunnar Henderson too, Ian? He's not even playing today yet. He's been excellent.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But then again, this same guy that didn't realize that they were on the free
Right. It's
elimination.
You cannot bring him back in 2030. You cannot bring this staff back at all, regardless even if they win or not.
Yeah.
Bregman is waiting on the 3-1, couple of sweepers on the outside. Omar Lopez's squad in Venezuela has never made a World Baseball Classic final until now. They never won one, and they're on the precipice of doing so. Bregman 3-1 down the line. Maikel Garcia, easy toss over to first. And USA first two down in the bottom of the seventh. Zerpa doing the job. Roman Anthony, the last hope here in the bottom of the seventh. Last time with the runner in scoring position was the fourth inning versus the Dominican Republic for this U.S. offense. And I said that a bunch of times before Ian even jumped in on this broadcast. This is more than sleepy. These are just lazy at-bats that we've seen. They're swinging at nothing a lot of times. They've been caught in the rocking chair from Erod. And even when you got a pitch like that for Roman Anthony, I'm not going to blame him because he's 20 years old, but that's a slider in the honey hole he doesn't swing at. 0-1. Zerpa about to throw pitch number 12. Again, Salvador, Perez, and Zerpa know each other well. That will take Salvi out of the crouch and spike at 1-1. You talk about Venezuela and the players that you know when you follow the Royals. I got Gleyber Torres on there too. And I also have Miguel Cabrera as part of the hitting coach. So I'm not going to be really upset if Venezuela wins, Ian.
No, geez, Miguel Cabrera as the hitting coach.
Right.
Yeah, I think where they're getting now.
2-1 here for Zerpa. Anthony does a good job of not offering. Cal Raleigh did not get the start today. Will Smith is catching. Cal's had an awful World Baseball Classic, to be fair, as Roman Anthony waits on the 2-1. This is way outside on a sinker. And should he reach, Will Smith would be next unless they want to make some preeminent changes here for Mark DeRosa's squad. Anthony's got leverage, but it is 2 outs. It's the 3-1 count. U.S. down 2. Inside. Good at bat for Anthony, the 20-year-old. You would say for the Red Sox as well. They've had a good WBC. Anthony and Jaron Duran. They're going to go to the bullpen now. Zerpa's day is done. We'll see who they take. It'll be a base runner for the United States. And Will Smith due up next unless they make a change or 2 outs. Be right back.
What would be the greatest thing ever is if Venezuela calls a substitution at second base and everyone's looking around who's like, wait, who's going in? And then as if it's the WWE. As if it's the WWE. And Miguel Cabrera grabs the glove. Sheds his vest. He's got his I am a terrible baseball fan. I've forgotten what his number. 24.
Yeah.
He's got a 24 on his back. Miguel Cabrera on it.
I was going to say, I think at this point, Miguel Cabrera might be 42, 43, but if you needed him to get a base hit, I would say he'd be an automatic lock right now, considering this venue.
True.
There'll be another guy that'll eventually get to walk right to the Hall of Fame in Miguel Cabrera. Again, I was hoping that he would get a World Series with the Tigers, but he did get one with Jim Leyland, his former manager in Miami.
Well, it wasn't a lack of trying on Mr. Eyes and Dave Bradley's part.
Nope, they tried. I mean, I miss Dave Dombrowski every day. I'm not going to lie to you. I do think the Tigers are finally starting to turn it around. I just think his son and Christopher, which is a little bit cheap, but I've talked about that many times. I won't spill the tea leaves anymore. I am getting feelings that this game is going to end up just like it did 4 years ago between Japan and USA when Otani struck out Trout. I just can't believe the USA bats have been so silent. Andres Machado has not given up any runs in this tournament. He's 5 innings pitched or clean, 8 strikeouts, no walks. Will Smith, last line of hope in the 7th. Norman Anthony at first off a walk. This one hits Will Smith, but he swings at it. He would have walked. 0-1. It has been that kind of day. I feel like these guys are playing MLB 26 the show. So 7 outs for Machado, and Joe Davis is saying that he might be in line to do it. You know, he can go with leverage. And this is a pitch down the middle and a changeup he doesn't swing at. My goodness, Will. It's 0-2. I said that a couple of times with Aaron Judge. He had that in the 5th inning. He had a fastball down the middle and a sinker up high enough for the Honeywell. He doesn't swing, and Smith doesn't swing. I just don't think DeRosa's got these guys prepared, or they're in their own head.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to think about this.
Will Smith pops it up. I'll let you go here, Ian, as Gimenez makes the catch. That is 7 scoreless for Venezuela. We'll go to the 8th.
God, if this team gets shut out, hang on. Where are they located? Where's Lone Depot Park at?
Miami.
Cool. Hey, DeRosa, stay here.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Ian. I want to be fair because we're giving credit to Venezuela. You and I have been able to do that. We know that they shut it down. They deserve it. But it's, I think, 18 scoreless innings now for the Venezuelan bullpen. And you say, yeah, that's a feather in their cap. But I'm going to take it a step further with you, Ian. I agree. I don't care. I'm throwing that out the window. If you're United States and you get shut out here, that's embarrassing with a capital lead.
I mean, I don't know what. First of all, the decision. Look, I don't know how everyone is doing, but the decision to play Buxton over Armstrong, even though Armstrong has been having what appears to me to be a strong WBC so far, and then look, I understand the pitching has been, the pitching matchups have been a little bit, they've been a little bit convoluted. Not trying to throw shade on it, but Terry Skubal kind of threw everything for a loop.
Yeah, because he should have pitched more than the one game, correct?
Yeah, or even this game. But,
yes.
The decision. Okay, it was the right decision to pitch Skeens against the Dominican Republic because they had a stacked.
I agree.
Stacked lineup, which I agree. But I don't know whether to make a judgment because I don't know much about it.
The other thing you would say, talk about PCA, would you play Alex Bregman over Gunnar Henderson? Because that's the other thing I'm going to ask you. Because Bryce Harper's been awful at first. I don't know who else plays first on this team or who would, but I would go with Gunnar over Breg. Griffin Jacks gets set to go in. You can go ahead, Ian.
Other than Harper, well, no, not.
Right. I didn't see anyone else at first that they can use unless you're talking about Goldschmidt.
Oh. Well, shoot, let me look it out. Goldschmidt is hitting 330. Remember it.
So Goldschmidt's got to be in then. Yes. That's a categorical mistake on DeRosa's part that we can't defend.
Wait. And okay, I was just talking about the point that maybe they put Buxton in to go against for a right.
Right.
Lefty.
It was cutting out for a second here. I don't want to step all over you. As Bobby Witt gets this throw over, it's 2 outs. They're able to get a strikeout in the first part of it for Team USA against Venezuela. We'll just give you an update there for a moment. So Jackson Chourio strikes out. And then this is a pop out by Acuna here. And it'll be set up now for Maikel Garcia, who's had a good game. He's been good defensively. Sac fly and RBI in the third as Griffin Jacks comes out of the bullpen. Mason Miller's still available, although he's worked a lot. David Bednar probably not. He's been walking the tightrope the last couple of times. So last chance to add any runs for Venezuela in the 8th. They still lead 2-0. United States are on their final 6 outs when they go back to the bat rack. As 97 will miss low, 1-1. Nobody getting warm yet in the Venezuelan bullpen, from what I see. Garcia will pop it up, and Will Smith give it a look. Is he going to make the catch? Yes, he is. Venezuela goes quietly, but the United States down to their last 6 outs. Terang, PCA, and Witt.
John.
Got you.
Cool. Yeah, so what I was saying was, we're so worried about that option. That why do you still keep our permits? Clearly, he has been terrible at the plate.
Yeah, I really don't understand it. Again, to talk about Goldschmidt being there, I know he's getting a little long in the tooth, but if he's been that bad, I don't think you play him. Bregman really hasn't done much. Gunnar Henderson has been one of your heroes. You think you automatically play. And look, we can talk about the mix between righties and lefties. They elected to go a lot of lefties there against Eduardo Rodriguez and got shut down. So if you're going to get shut down anyway, you should get shut down with your best players. So I would say PCA and over Buxton, Gunnar Henderson and over Bregman, Goldschmidt and over Bryce Harper. And if you want to keep Bryce Harper in the game, even when he's batting 100 or whatever he is and being so anemic, you sure as hell can't bat him number 2 in the order.
Oh, good Lord, no.
So I just think that's boneheaded mistakes on DeRosa's part. Every time that they showed some of the camera shots for him, he looks like a deer in headlights. And look, you can understand, even for DeRosa, I don't want to sit and pick on him the whole time, but Ian said it, and I had said it many times, when you don't even know the tiebreaker scenario, that really should be your only job as a manager when you got a lineup like this. Yes, the players carry responsibility, but I also believe the manager's got to get you responsibly ready to play and be prepared in the game plan, and it doesn't look like they are. So Bryce Terang, part of the 8-9-1, as the United States have 6 outs left. It's only 2-0, but Machado has not been scored on yet in this WBC, and he could go long way through. Maybe even the rest of the way. We'll see. He's going to at least try to get this next set of outs to get 6 in total. Because you have Daniel Palencia, the Cubs closer, who is lights out. 0-2 against Terang. Everybody get live for Venezuela fans. And Terang cuts and misses on a changeup right down the middle. He was too early, and Machado gets a punch out. 5 outs away for Venezuela's first ever WBC title. This is their first ever final. They're trying to get those Jordan numbers started. Fastball changeup, and here it was, hit it. He could not. PCA swings at the first pitch and fouls it down the left field line. Make it 0-1. His only appearance was a flyout in the 6th. Again, Bryce Terang, Roman Anthony have been so good in this tournament as the young players. PCA is dynamic defensively. You can get him on base, he can get some steals and create some things, but you got to get him on base. It's 0-1 against PCA of the Cubs. USA chance starting to happen. This is grounded. PCA hustling, not going to get there in time. 4 outs away is Venezuela. Bobby Witt Jr., the last hope, in bottom 8. When is it going to happen? Who's going to do it? Anyone going to be the hero is my question.
Just somebody get on Bobby, get on base, and just tell them to let you run.
I agree with you. It'd be an automatic steal even if you know what's going to happen to me if he gets on base. I'm 100% in lockstep with you. Create something.
I'd say that, but Salvi has made a living of gunning people down and saying.
I can't disagree with that either, but I'm going to say it. Challenge him if you can get on. You got to do it. 98 on a sinker, both inside. Witt's got count leverage at 2-0. USA still down 2-0. It's 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Single runs in the 3rd and 5th. Wilyer Abreu's home run and Maikel Garcia sac fly. 3-0 against Witt. Fastball just off the plate. Bryce Harper will be due up next if Witt reaches. Is he going to take here on a 3-0? As the pitch clock down to 1. It's a walk. Bobby Witt gets on as 100 misses low. And we'll see if fireworks can ignite. Machado has not given up a single run in this World Baseball Classic. Bryce Harper is more than due. And something has to happen here in the bottom 8 and 2 outs. Johan Santana is their pitching coach, and Miguel Cabrera is their hitting coach. Come on now. That's as good as it gets. Bryce Harper going to take a couple practice swings after this meeting on the mound. John Underwood now alongside Ian Genge at Lone Depot Park in downtown Miami. 2026 World Baseball Classic Championship on Fox. We are watching along and following along. Thank you guys for listening in. Harper at the bat rack now. Way low on a changeup from Machado. Again, we talked about he's been unblemished in the WBC. USA on life support here in this bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. They're only down 2 runs, but it feels that way because they've done nothing other than a couple singles and a walk. Harper down the middle. This is gone. Bryce Harper awakens, and the U.S. have tied it.
Excuse me for a second, John. I have to go eat some crow.
So do I. Bryce Harper, dead center field. And we are tied at dose. 432 feet. It's about time. United States 2 runs, and we got a brand new ball game. Thank you, Bobby Witt Jr., for drawing a walk. It's got to feel good for Bryce Harper. Get the monkey off his back proverbially, and that's a gigantic 2-run tank for the United States. That changes the whole tenure of this ball game late. And now Aaron Judge at the bat rack. He's punched out twice. One of those should have been a walk. But to be fair, between both of these teams so far, if you're joining late, the ABS would have been good to have in 2026 as both teams kind of got messed up on strikeout calls. We do see some Team USA jerseys for hockey that we saw for the baseball players that we're all wearing them today. Judge waits on a 1-0. Big swing. That got Salvi and the Jewels, and hopefully he's going to get a couple of breaths here before they start again. As they look at Harper with a long toss to the bat and slowly makes his way to step on home plate. He killed that baseball. As Judge and Schwarber look on in excitement. And this game has changed, and for Mark DeRosa, you think it feels good for him. I will be on record to say it's his last WBC, but nobody feels better than Harper and DeRosa, I imagine. 1-1. Judge, grand cut, just missed the changeup, make it 1-2. That was a perfect pitch from Machado. Again, it's the first time he gave up any runs in WBC in 8 innings. First time Venezuela gave up runs in their bullpen in 16 innings. Salvador Perez will go out to talk to Machado on this 1-2. Take a breath, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for jumping in and out between the YouTube side. It's been popping a little bit. I don't think it'd be as much as USA-Japan from 4 years ago, but this is the side of the final. Again, I apologize to you guys before. This is the first game I've covered in the WBC, but might as well make it a grand event as we wait on 1-2. Judge takes strike 3 for the 3rd time. That was right there. He did not swing. But Harper does the job. He ties the game, and we go to the 9th inning side of dose.
Bryce Harper swings the bat, rightfully or upon for a little bit, then around the bases.
Yep.
Game is tied, ladies and gentlemen. So, question is, who are they sending out there?
Who comes out now for the United States is a good question, because, Ian, do you want to burn Mason Miller in a tie game, or do you want to save it for a little bit later? But you have last at bats. The one thing you won today for the United States up until that time for the home run was the coin flip. But, yeah, you have last at bats, so you could use Mason Miller now. You still got Garrett Whitlock. You use Will Vest. Will Vest is still available, but David Bednar probably not.
Yeah. So I'm watching this on the MLB website. Currently on shift, but they're sending out Garrett Whitlock. Okay, I see what the Russ is going.
Whitlock against Luis Arraez. I will be right back, and we'll get started again.
Yeah. So it's gonna be Whitlock versus. We're going 1, 2, 3. Arraez, Suarez, and Gimenez. So you have 2 lefties and a power right-hander.
Being a business owner takes hard work and a whole lot of miles. We chose the Capital One Venture X Business Card. We earn unlimited double miles on every purchase. And with big purchasing power, we can spend more and earn more. What's in your wallet?
A 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning to save the U.S. Side
Luis Arraez takes ball 1, and Whitlock almost hit him right there. As we're going to check back into this play-by-play. Good start to the 9th. It's a 2-2 game. Pitch misses upstairs for Garrett Whitlock. Again, 3, 4, and 5 is the order here for Omar Lopez's squad. 2-0 courtesy take for Luis Arraez, make it 2-1. Garrett Whitlock is tasked for keeping this 9th inning clean for the United States with a chance to win it. Judge punched out, but you got Kyle Schwarber, Bregman, and Anthony available. Again, you still have Gunnar Henderson, Paul Goldschmidt, Cal Raleigh at some point if you want to go ahead and use that. Arraez is in count leverage at 3-1. Eugenio Suarez waiting on deck. And that is a big walk for Arraez. That was a pitch that looked like Judge struck out on. In the previous at-bat, it was borderline, and Whitlock did not get the call, as Luis Arraez will jog 90 feet to first. So Javier Sanoja, their backup outfielder, will be the pinch runner for Luis Arraez. So that means you can bring in Willson Contreras at first when they're going to need it for defense in the bottom of the 9th. So Venezuela going to try to manufacture this at least for Eugenio Suarez to move Sanoja over. That is the bare minimum at this point. And Whitlock not close on a slider, make it 1-0. Now we'll take Will Smith out of the crouch, and he will go ahead and have a talk with Garrett here as he's 6 pitches into his day. Venezuela trying to come right back in this 9th and answer after Bryce Harper had a 2-run shot. Maikel Garcia scored on a sac fly in the 3rd. Wilyer Abreu had a home run solo in the 5th. Bryce Harper a 2-run tank in the 8th. That's your only run scored as we sit at 2-2 tie. Top 9, no outs. So they had the meeting. Again, Sanoja is the pinch runner at first from the Arraez walk. Now toss over, and not a ton of speed for Sanoja, but more than Arraez, obviously. As U.S. now starting to get warm in the bullpen is indeed Mason Miller. 1-0 against Gino. Up toward his hands and way out for a ball, but he still tried to make a grand cut to make it 4-2. He missed. It's 1-1. John Under with you alongside Ian Genge at Lone Depot Park in downtown Miami. 2026 World Baseball Classic Final. Sanoja goes! And they say he's safe. Did not get the tag down in time, Bryce Terang. And they get the steal. And now runners at second. I think they should. Let me look at this now off the replay. I think Terang, now I get to see it here. No, it's not in time on my look. It looks like he got the foot in. That's what I see when they shove the camera toward the foot of the base path. I think they got the foot in, and DeRosa is going to lose this challenge, is my guess. 2-1. That looked pretty definitive on the camera shot that I got here from Fox. But we'll see if anything changes. I think Sanoja did his job. With the initial call being safe, and now they're doing a super slow-mo here. Terang plays the bounce, but I don't think he gets the tag down in front of the foot. With the initial call being safe, I think that's going to be hard to overturn. I'm just saying that from what I'm seeing. U.S. would need a little luck, in my opinion, here. Runner safe. Sanoja gets the steal 90 feet. That was lifted from Luis Arraez. Whitlock has got some work to do now with a runner at second base. Eugenio Suarez still got count leverage at 2-1. Do you want to mess around and walk Gino here? I don't think so. 2-1. Whitlock delivers. Suarez, big swing and a miss on a changeup. Make it 2-2. That was low toward the back foot. Voting question: who wins the World Baseball Classic? 58 votes. You guys have been logging in. I appreciate you. 86% say Venezuela. Never seen a vote counter that high. I give you guys a grand salute. 2-2. As Gino fouls a curveball straight back from Whitlock. Up toward the dome, backs him away. 3-2. Still no outs. This game's tied at 2. We're in the ninth. Venezuela at the bat rack. Gleyber Torres would be next. Suarez hits it hard, and then splits the gap. Venezuela's going to take the lead. A double for Eugenio Suarez, and it's 3-2. He points to the sky. Everybody out of the dugout here for Venezuela, celebrating. A lot of fans at their feet, putting the lights on all the way across. And that is huge. Mason Miller, if you don't have the 3-batter minimum, you got one more for Whitlock. And then you really got to make sure, if you're the United States, get somebody on base to make Venezuela sweat a little bit, because Daniel Palencia is going to come in. So Omar Lopez played it perfectly. Arraez got on base with a walk. They got it over, trying to sacrifice Blunt Gimenez, everybody running in, Bryce Harper. But no, they did not connect on it. It's 0-1. He's 1 for 8 in the WBC. He's not known for his bat. But if you can get one more run here, I think it's smart to play for him. See if the bunt sign's still on. He swings and misses this time around. Make it 0-2 for Whitlock against Gimenez. Eugenio Suarez now has the GWG, if this will hold, with the double that scored Sanoja after the steal. Fights it off from about 6 inches off the plate, and Whitlock starting to sweat a little bit. This will be pitch number 16. He's responsible for that run against. 3-2. Venezuela has just taken the lead. A Suarez walk, or an Arraez walk, turned into a Sanoja steal, and then a Suarez double. Another foul ball. This one toward the dome will keep it alive. Let's make it 0-2 for Gimenez. I think Robinson Chirinos is also on this team, the former Texas Rangers. See a shot for him, and Gino very happy with himself, as he should be. Gimenez fights it off beautifully. Again, he is taking pitches that are probably 3-4 inches off the plate. He almost cruised one down left field. He almost put the other one down the first base line. Venezuela fans can taste it, trying to add on. Gimenez not going away. It's the 4th straight 0-2 upcoming as a sinker fouled straight back. Tension mounts for Whitlock. This is his last of the minimum. 0-2. Upstairs will back away Gimenez. Make it 1-2. Bryce Harper had tied the game for the United States, and then immediately in the 9th, Eugenio Suarez double gives Venezuela a 3-2 lead. This has popped up. Right to Roman Anthony, no problem. Suarez will have to stay where he is, 1 out of the 9th. We're going to take a break. And the United States goes to the bullpen.
I have moderate to severe psoriasis, but thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, I'm all right. Most people saw 90% clear skin from head to toe. And Skyrizi is only 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use the allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight that may occur before treatment can show for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Nothing on my skin means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi.
This grease is gonna be hard to scrub. It'll be a lot of them hard to fill and improve the wrong part. It removes 99% of grease and food residue.
Cyber members can get any football for just $6.99. All your favorite teams, crispy veggies, and fresh sliced meat. Great for a 3-week straight start straight deal. Use this code EM to get your $6.99 football today. Subway, eat fresh, feel good.
7th grade was the last time I was in school. I had to grow up so fast.
Give you an update here in the chat box. USA to the bullpen. Eugenio Suarez has given Venezuela a 3-2 lead in the 9th, and the U.S. is up against it here. I humbly appreciate all of you guys in the YouTube side. You've been rocking this chat question. I know it's an easy one, who wins the World Baseball Classic. Never had that many votes at 59. So thank you guys so much for being involved today. It's been so much fun to cover the WBC. Again, I apologize for it only being the first game I covered. Just putting this one on X just in case we get anyone else. Teller Rogers coming in for Ezequiel Tovar as it is 1-1 off the pop-up, and this will be caught by Bryce Turan. Again, Gino is going to have to stay at second base. 3-2 is still your score line. Gino Suarez after the Luis Arraez walk, a Sanoja steal, and this was beautifully played by Venezuela. Go back up here again for manager Omar Lopez to manufacture that run. He did the damn job. He's been excellent managing. And again, you have Miguel Cabrera as part of their hitting coach for Team Venezuela. So again, I will have no bones about it if Venezuela beats the United States. I'll be more than happy for them. So Suarez, they're going to make sure whether or not he got doubled off. I don't think that's going to be the case. So Teller Rogers is going to have to get one more unless they want to switch this. He was just trying to break for a hit. He didn't imagine a pop-up. This would be a big break for the United States, at least to close out the inning with Mason Miller still being available. But we'll see what they get once we get the call. I'll give it to you. So nothing overturned. USA's got no challenges. They challenged twice, missed both. So they got nothing left. So if the umpire messes up anything here, then they are going to be SOL at this point. And no, I don't mean same old Lions. Wilyer Abreu is in the 7th order at this point for Omar Lopez. And I think that they're just going to go with an intentional walk to face Salvador Perez. Don't know about that curious decision because Omar Abreu has already hit a tank and Salvador is capable of it. If he hits one here, it would give Venezuela a 6-2 lead. As it is now, it's 3-2. Top 9, 2 outs. Venezuela in their first WBC final in 2026, and they are 3 outs away from the United States of getting their first is Venezuela. It's been a whale of a ball game by the end of it. Rogers against Perez. That's your pitching matchup right now, and Rogers got to close the door. Sidearm. This is not swung at inside, and a successful check for Salvi. Bring this in for Ian Genge one more time. There's Salvador Perez with a big swing. Will drive Roman Anthony back.
Yes.
But that is the end of the top of the ninth. The United States, Schwarber, Bregman, Anthony, the last hope. Come right back. We'll finish it off.
Okay. Let's see if I can maintain a connection through the bottom of the ninth.
It's all right. Just happy to hear your voice, Ian, and get a chance to talk with you. I appreciate the last couple of days. I don't know if I'm going to be able to be on Thursday, but I always got a couple assignments here before with some much needed rest tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, currently, I've been I've been paying attention to the NHL, more specifically the Columbus Blue Jackets, who, despite everything, have not been able to crack into the wild card because Boston keeps getting 1 point in every single game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also paying attention and waiting for that announcement. The Buffalo Sabres have clinched the playoff spot.
We're getting closer every day to that reality, Mr. Genge, and I can't believe it, but they definitely deserve it. Again, they have the Lightning have 2 games in hand on the Sabres, and even if the Lightning win those, all they can do is tie Buffalo. So Buffalo's in a good standing.
Yeah. Currently, they're up 1-0 on the Vegas Golden Knights for moments. Goal scored by Josh Stone. Good Lord.
Josh Stone's been unbelievable.
Yeah. Good Lord. That acquisition, if I remember correctly, they got Josh Stone from, what was it? Was it from the Josh Norris trade, or was that the JJ Peterka trade?
I don't know I think it might have been Peterka. I don't know if it was Peterka or Norris, but you're right. It was definitely one of those, and it worked out. I'm going to go ahead and call this here with Daniel Palencia. They said the only way the Cubs will let him be used if it's a closing situation to win over Venezuela. And that's indeed what it is. As Kyle Schwarber takes a pitch up toward the dome, make it 1-0. Palencia features 5 pitches, and he's got 102 fastball.
Yeah, you said go. Yeah, they're close right now.
1-1 is the count as Schwarber fights it off down the left field line. United States, their last hope. 4, 5, and 6. Schwarber, Bregman, Anthony. You still got Gunnar Henderson for availability if you want it for all lefties against the righty. Schwarber swings and misses on a splitter. That was right there. He couldn't find it. Make it 1-2. Yeah, you have to. And alongside for Bregman. I'd go lefty, lefty, lefty here. Schwarber, we're waiting on a 1-2. This could happen just like it did 4 years ago against Japan when Otani struck out Trout. Palencia now the difference maker. Way upstairs, 2-2, brought Salvi out of the crouch, but nobody on base as we're just beginning in the bottom of the ninth. Venezuela 3 outs away from clinching their first ever WBC final championship in their first appearance. United States trying not to lose in the final 2 tournaments in a row. Schwarber swings and misses on 98. Out number 1. Could not find the gasoline. He was way late. Schwarber's missed a couple of those. Judge has struck out a few times. Go to the big bats, not getting the job done. And indeed, Mr. Gunnar Henderson will be the pinch hitter for Alex Bregman. Gunnar has been ridiculous in this tournament. 429, 6 of 14, 2 tanks, 4 RBI. So the question is, why didn't you play him more? He's going to have to be the hero now. He is batting in the 5 hole for Alex Bregman. The 24-year-old sees a fastball go up toward the face. It's 1-0. Mark DeRosa, for my liking, this is his last WBC as manager, regardless if they even come back and win. Henderson waits on the 1-0. Big swing and a pop-up. This is toward third base. Garcia camps underneath it, and the United States are down to their final out. Venezuela can lift the title right now. It's going to leave it up to Roman Anthony. They still have Paul Goldschmidt, Ernie Clement, and Cal Raleigh. But Roman Anthony looks to be the last hope for the Stars and Stripes. Venezuela took the lead after Bryce Harper tied it in the 8th on a 2-run shot. Eugenio Suarez got an RBI double. Yeah, that would stand as the game winner. Way up out of the crouch for Palencia again for Salvi. 1-0 against Roman. This Red Sox rookie has been outrageously good. Judges struck out 3 times in this game. This is a perfect pitch on the outside black, 1-1 against Roman Anthony. Miguel Cabrera getting some camera shots. I can't even be mad. Now I see another Tiger in Will Vest. Don't know how I feel about that because I love Will Vest too. As it's 1-1. Omar Lopez's squad is 2 strikes away here from lifting the title for the first time in their first ever final. Tension will build as the shoes will tie for Palencia. It's all nerves right now. Suarez has the flag in hand for Venezuela as we read on a 1-1. It's 1-2 inside splitter. Down to the final strike. Miguel Cabrera is jumping and cheering right now as he eats those sunflower seeds. He's got 1 World Series in his back pocket. He'd be part of a coaching staff that wins one in the WBC. Palencia. He's going to get Salvi and ask for some support before this final pitch. All Schwarber could do in that camera shot was shake his head. A couple guys did not step up today for United States. You can talk about the manager too, as we've done, about not knowing the rules. They got bailed out by Team Italy, otherwise they wouldn't even be here. Palencia now sees Salvi get back in the crouch. 1-2. Gino Suarez plays the hero, and Venezuela wins 3-2.
You know what? I can't even be mad.
Nope.
The U.S. Yeah. DeRosa, pack your bags, go to Kinko's, run up your resume, and try and find work somewhere else. listen, and for any of the younger folks listening who don't know what Kinko's is, look it up.
They're talking about making your copies at Kinko's because I'm going to be honest here, and this is going to sound very mean, because DeRosa probably does a good job decently for MLB Network as far as analyst. But when they made Matt Millen an analyst for football and alongside the Lions after he was the GM, I always wanted to break my TV. And now anytime I see him on MLB Network as an analyst, I might want to throw a baseball through my TV.
Yeah, that was okay. Look, I understand going with the, the one thing I'm not going to fault him for, I am not going to fault him for taking the safer option of Garrett Whitlock in the top of the ninth, because there was a chance you go into extra innings, you needed Mason Miller.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's where I'm not going to. I'm not going to harp on him.
Nope, I'm with you on that. We were just talking about the batting order.
Yeah, the batting order was just absolutely. Look, I get it. Harper hit that tank, but you look at his numbers before the game. There's no way would have put him in against Eduard.
Yeah, and Eduardo Rodriguez, to his credit, former Tiger Red Sox, again, he's done a great job. He went scoreless into there. It was just the cutter 4-seam, 2-seam that kind of got the U.S. really unprepared. They weren't ready to be able to get those swings, even though it was 90-93. I just don't think, and again, full credit to Erod and the pitching staff for Venezuela. Again, you and me, I'm not really even remotely upset in terms of the result today because we got a lot of Royals and Tigers on the side of both of these. But I just don't think the U.S. came in this prepared to hit, at least for the first 5 innings. And that was really their downfall. And when you look at it throughout the entirety of this WBC, yeah, you scored double-digit runs against Brazil. Yeah, you scored a bunch of runs in the first 2 games. But on the outstretch of the entirety of their tournament, Ian, they've been pretty quiet. I'm going to get set to sign off here. I'll get a little bit of a game story once you get some food and take the pills and everything else that I got to do and get squared away. But, Ian, I'll probably catch up with you. I'll see if I can come on Thursday to cover a NCAA tournament game, but it looks like I'll probably be busy the rest of the week. And then a birthday plans at the end of it. So have a good one, my friend, and I'm glad that you joined me for this.